Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of Taste Test right here on youtube.com/Seannosaurus where every Saturday I try the weird, the wonderful, the limited edition. If you like the sound of that, be sure to scroll down, subscribe, ring the bell. You'll be notified when I post new videos. If you'd like to see something specific on the channel, let me know what it is, where to find it. You might see it on a future episode of Taste Test. Thank you so much for joining me here this Saturday as we continue to emulate the movie studios and what they do. We are cleaning out our candy cupboard as they clean out their release slate. I don't know why I'm so honed in on that. I'm just so locked in of like, well, if the movie studios can put out garbage during January, so can your delightful show. I don't know. I'm still sitting over here, but apparently imaginary me walked over, and so I trailed with my eyes. Acting here on the channel. What's happening? Welcome on in. Today we have the second installment of the Ketchup and Mustard series. I know, you all have been anxiously, eagerly, excitedly waiting for it, and it is finally here. Way back when, I don't remember when, it was either last year, 2023, or maybe even the year before, 2022? That sounds too far. Either way, Doritos had at one point put out ketchup and mustard chips that were exclusive to their website. The bags were actually pretty expensive, so I didn't end up getting any. But then they later on down the line, they released it in stores. And I bought at least one bag of each, tried them on the channel, and so on and so forth. You wash your hands of it, you forget it exists, people bring it up to you, they go, how are those ketchup and mustard chips? And you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And they're like, but you made the video. And I'm like, yes, I made the video, and then went to do 5 other things and completely forgot it even happened. Fast forward all the years later, and Lay's has put out they did. I say that, remember, this is January here on the channel, right? It's January. I'm cleaning stuff out, so they put them out. They're not currently available. However, I will have some level of a bag left. So if you want some, let me know. Or maybe I got rid of them. Who knows? I'm all over the place here. Focus in, John. Focus. Back in October, Lay's, turns out, had put out their own limited edition ketchup chips. And that was more than enough for me to buy anyway. I thought, hey, it's a limited time offer. I'll go ahead and grab these. I wonder if they have a mustard variant of this. And then I stumbled upon the fact that they actually did have a mustard. It's just the Ruffles brand. I don't know why I'm not showing the chips here. I found these. This is what I'm building to. We have this limited time flavor. They're the regular Lay's, and I thought, okay, cool, ketchup. I've already done the ketchup and mustard. See if I can find a mustard variant of the Lay's chips. Maybe they have it like this. Maybe they have it in a different way. And as I was walking around, I spied these. I don't know why I said I spied them. I found them. They are the Double Crunch Honey Mustard. So it's a little bit of you got to work with me. You got a suspension of disbelief a little bit. Bend the rules in my favor here. I grabbed these just in case they didn't have a mustard variant that was like directly the same as the ketchup version. And it turns out they didn't, or I just never saw them. I'm wagering a bet that they just didn't have that. And then this was going to be the closest I was going to get anyway. So glad that I picked these up and got these to match. And I thought it would be fun to do yet another ketchup and mustard episode. So here we are, 3 or 4 months after I bought them, trying them on the YouTube channel. So let's start with the ketchup. I don't remember what I started with when I did. It was like tangy ketchup and something else. I forget. They weren't good. I remember that. Okay. Whew. Oh my goodness. That is some ketchup. That is ketchup and more ketchup. And there's not a lot of flavoring. It looks like they're pretty plain, but I don't think you need a lot of ketchup to make it ketchup. That is a spoonful of salt and ketchup. Now, I will say, I'll throw this in there for you. One, it takes a lot of tomatoes to make ketchup. I said you don't need a lot of ketchup to make ketchup. You probably just don't need a lot of tomatoes to make ketchup. I don't know where I was going with that analogy. Number two, the first thing that I noticed is obviously, dang, that's a lot of ketchup. The second thing that I noticed is the potato chip itself actually has a really solid flavor to it and helps undercut the amount of ketchup flavor that you're getting. The problem is that the salt then kicks in and like kind of sours the experience again. And what's interesting is, and I hadn't considered this until I started eating this. The Lay's are like legit like potato chips, right? They are, yeah, potatoes is their first ingredient. French fries are potatoes, right? So it kind of naturally melds together in a much better and more satisfactory way than the Doritos ever would, because the Doritos are tortilla chips, which is just going to be a flavor combination that probably isn't going to mesh super well unless you're just slathering ketchup on tortillas, which doesn't sound like something that I would want to do. But I do put ketchup on French fries, which obviously come from potatoes. So this actually melds together a little bit better. The ketchup is like, it's a little sour, it's a little bit much. The salt kind of just adds to the whole mess of a situation going on there. It is a lot. There is a lot happening. It's not great. I think they've got to be better than the Doritos ketchup chips. I just think that the base flavors that you're working with work better together than the ketchup with a tortilla chip. Like, logically, this would be better than that, but I don't remember because it was so long ago when I had originally bought those Doritos chips. So, yeah, that's a lot. I only need the one, so that's good. Thankfully, obviously, I bought a whole bag here, so that's good news for me. Let's move on. Move on to honey mustard here. Now, mustard is an ingredient that I don't think I really liked much as a kid, but I've definitely turned on in a positive way over the last several years. I feel like I've always had a soft spot for honey mustard, but it's just like the one specific, like it's like a Lighthouse brand, I think is what it is. That one I always really enjoyed, but I've refined my mustard palette over the years and actually eat quite a bit of mustard. So I have a newfound respect for it. And honey mustard is my favorite variant of mustard. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to these. It's a Kettle brand chips. Honey Dijon is a terrific Kettle chip, as the name would suggest. That has a really solid, like, it's a really great consistency, and the honey Dijon flavor, pardon me, the honey Dijon flavor is fantastic. I love those chips. They're great. So these have kind of a high bar to like try and clear, because those are my go-to if I want mustard chips, which is surprisingly frequent because I just really enjoy like Kettle things. I enjoy Kettle chips and I enjoy Kettle corn more than like regular potato chips or regular popcorn. Though Kettle corn's more of a fancy event, which is odd considering that you're buying it at like a state fair where you can smell the pig poop. Maybe it's not as high class as I think it is. Anyway, let's jump into these the Ruffles, which these are 2 times the crunch, which, as a person who apparently is a loud eater, thank goodness I could be twice as loud with just this single bag of chips. It's okay. There's definitely a mustard scent there. Oh man, the honey mustard balance isn't good. It's not good at all. It is so mustard forward. Oh my goodness. So I wasn't anticipating that. It has this like almost the exact same problem that the Lay's, the ketchup chips do, where it's just an assault of like the main flavor, and then these other 2 flavors kick in. I don't think the mustard meshes quite as well with the potato, because I don't use mustard when I do fries, so it's not like ketchup goes with fries, right? but I don't necessarily use mustard with it. If these were like mustard hot dog, I guess it would make sense. I don't know where I'm going here. So I don't think the base flavor meshes as well with the mustard flavor, and then the honey kicks in, but it's not strong enough to kind of counteract the like you're looking for the sweetness of the honey to counteract the strength of the mustard, and it just doesn't work because it's not working in harmony. It's working in two parts, and that's not good. That's not what you're looking for here. So they don't smell great either, which it doesn't help the situation. So these are kind of a miss. These are disappointing just because I like the Honey Dijon so much from the Kettle brand. I really hope they're called Honey Dijon. I'm pretty sure they are. They're the orange bag. That's how I tell. I don't read the labels. I just go by the color. Anyway, the Honey Dijon are such a strong chip that, and I like the Ruffles aspect of this. It's hard to, it's a high bar to clear, and I don't think these come even anywhere near. Like I would not buy these again. And if you bought them for me, I would politely thank you for them, and then they would sit in a cabinet for 4 months, and then I would bring them to a party and be like, "Hey, everybody, here's these terrible chips that someone gave me," and then they would have them, and everyone else could be miserable with me. So, yeah, these are a big old miss. If the honey mustard flavor was more together, if it felt like it was more cohesive, I think this would actually be. I don't think it would top the Honey Dijon, but I think it would be competitive because the flavor would be more succinct. It's the word that my brain wants to use, but then the smart part of my brain's like succinct, and the dumb part of my brain's, you don't know what that word means. Do you using that correctly? You want to look like an idiot on the internet? A lot of talking to myself today. If the flavor is just a little more cohesive, the texture of the chip is pretty solid, and it would work a lot better, but I don't know that it can top. Because the flavor of the Kettle brand is so strong and so good, and the Kettle chip just feels like a device that's like, hey, we're here. Whereas the Ruffle feels like it's like it wants to be a part of the party. So, I don't know. These are a bit of a disappointment, but I don't think it's much of a... You know what? It is a surprise. It is a surprise because the flavor is so detached from each other. It's very weird. So there you have it. I would not recommend either of these. These I have seen fairly recently, as of like December of 2023. At least I'm pretty sure that I've seen them. The ketchup chips were a 1C and gone situation. So I am glad that I found them. Those I found at a Winco on like a random Thursday in like October. And I'm glad that I bought them so that I could try them. Maybe a little delayed on that, but it's also kind of nice to, have them in case, companies don't put out much good stuff between December and January. So there you go. If you want to try the honey mustard, see if you can find them. And the ketchup chips, I guess, call me and I can send you one chip in a Ziploc bag and pray that it makes it there. So there you have it. If you have had either of those chips, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. If there's something you'd like to see on the channel, be sure to let me know what it is, where to find it. You might see it on a future episode of Taste Test. To see that future episode of Taste Test, hit that bell, ring that subscribe button, and you'll be notified when I post new videos. And you'll look at your notifications and be like, oh my gosh, Seannosaurus Rex, Taste Test. And then insert item that you suggested here. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to watch his handsome face try it. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you next week with another exciting installment of some crap that I found from 4 months ago right here on Taste Test. Bon appetit.